Welcome back to Angel Angela. And on this podcast, you guys, we are going to be talking about how the narcissists trap you and imprison you. And we're going to talk about how to get out of that imprisonment. So I hope that everyone is doing great or, working on their healing and they're finding some peace after what they've been through. And I'm hoping that everyone is grateful to be alive and to have a chance at, setting themselves free. Being trapped by a narcissist, it's a imprisonment. And the narcissist traps you by hunting you. They look at you like prey, right? It's like a monarchy of, it's like looking at yourself like a monarchy of animals, and, every animal has its purpose or the way it hunts or, things that it needs to sustain life, right? And there's predators and there's prey, and the narcissist is a predator, and it could be male or female, and they prey on people and their vulnerabilities. And they do this in order to feel comfort in manipulating and controlling in order to live out their dream or their fantasy, right? So in order for them to live their dream or their fantasy, they need prey. They need people to make them feel as if they are at the top of the food chain. And this is why the narcissist is very arrogant. They're going to go after people that are just going to feed into whatever the narcissist says. Whatever the narcissist says just goes. And, they're not just, going to attack you. They're not just going to go for the kill. That's not what the narcissist gets off on. They're holding you hostage and, right after capturing you, they want to sit around and study you. They want to see you vulnerable. They want to see you in pain. The narcissist simply boosts their self-esteem based on your emotional pain. So one thing that I realized from healing is that when you leave a narcissist relationship, you feel paralyzed, you feel, destabilized, you feel as if it's just difficult to do certain things. It's difficult to trust people. You feel like everyone is trying to trap you or imprison you in one way or another. You might go to people that or you thought were good people, or you might even go on a spiritual journey, and everywhere you go, it feels like people are trying to entrap you. It feels as if, in order for them to give you a helping hand, and it doesn't mean physically, mentally, because it's a mental imprisonment, it feels as if they're trying to literally like rail you into a different type of prison. It's kind of like, well, you have to do everything we say in this family or else we're not going to help you. Or you have to agree with our spiritual beliefs or we're not going to help you. Everywhere you go, it feels like, people that you are close to, or people around you, even friends, they might be in their own personal imprisonment in their marriage, and they're judging you, right? They're judging your situation, and you're kind of like, so in order for you to have a friend or someone around you, you have to make me feel bad about my situation or compare my situation to yours. So you look around and you realize that everyone and the people around you might be in this imprisonment. But not only that, they don't want you getting out of that imprisonment, or they need something in order to help you get out of that imprisonment. Or you need to obey, they need some type of power in order to help you. And that's what you realize in the end. The moment you gave up your power to these narcissists, it's literally the moment that they're able to imprison you. And you're having to repent for your sins, and you're kind of like, well, what was my sin? Why am I entrapped? It's almost like feeling deceived. It's like this deceivement where it's like they knew they were a murderer, they knew that they were a con artist, and they knew that they were pulling strings on you in order to get their way. And it's like even after the whole crime, people are telling you like, this is what really, they're blaming you. They're blaming you for the crime. They're saying that they didn't do any of it, that it was all you. And they're pointing the fingers at you. They're pointing the finger at you, and you have nothing to do with, any of the crimes that they've committed. And now you feel like you're dealing with their karma along with your karma for dealing with them. And, it's like you're having to learn to accept that, you should have been more cautious of who you surrounded yourself with, what kind of friends you had. It's kind of like, I should never been hanging out with those friends because those friends, led me into a bad road, or, these friends led me these friends led me on the wrong path, and sometimes you're thinking to yourself, like, not only did these friends lead me to the wrong path, these friends and their friends are all part of this organized group, and they knew I was naive coming in, and that's why they made me do the dirty work and imprisoned me without me knowing, imprisoned me by talking about others, or making up scenarios and situations that weren't even real and involving me in it, because they knew that I was naive to what was going on, to the crimes that these type of people were committing. This is why if you're that person that starts calling narcissists out on what they're doing, they're like ready to attack you. They're you can't be part of that organized group. Even if you're calling, you can't be part of that organized group if you start getting smart and you start calling people out. They're just going to literally fire you. You can't question the things around you, even if they're wrong. You can't be a part of these groups. You can't go to church and then have a disagreement on what day you should go to church. If you start going to a church that goes, that everyone goes to on Saturdays, and you start telling them, no, we have to go on Sunday, then they're going to get you out of that group. You don't belong there, and they could be right or wrong. It doesn't matter. You don't belong there. So the narcissist is the same way. Once you start questioning things with a narcissist, and the more you know about what they're doing, this is where, you might tell yourself, well, I guess I don't want to be a part of this group, anymore. And, instead of them just taking you out of the group or whatnot, they're going to have to ambush you. They're going to have to, literally they feel like, well, if you're leaving this group, I'm going to destroy you, or I'm going to kill you, or I'm not going to allow you the opportunity to gain knowledge from us and how we were able to organize this so that you can go out and be successful. And you're thinking to yourself, well, I'm not thinking like that. There's many scenarios, but the narcissist is out to destroy anyone who gets out of that imprisonment. It's like, being trapped somewhere, because the narcissist traps you and they imprison you. So it's like being trapped, by a serial killers, and you're trying to escape. They don't want you to escape. They want to hang you spiritually to their wall of people that they've done wrong. That's how cynical they are. That's how volatile they are. If someone is able to imprison your body, they're able to imprison your mind. So this is why I give you guys the example of, even imprisonment, physical imprisonment. If you were to be in jail, if someone is able to imprison your body physically, then they're able to imprison your mind, and that's a narcissist's worst nightmare. And it's their worst nightmare because the narcissist, see, the thing about the narcissist is that they love to switch characters, right? They love going from one person to another person. They love playing characters in different roles for different people. But if someone is in prison and jail, they only have one role, which is you're a prisoner. This is why even in, a jail cell, this is why even being in jail, a narcissist, it's going to be their worst nightmare, only because the narcissist is going to have to relive how they left the outside world over and over again. See, the narcissist doesn't have a problem changing character roles. If they're imprisoned, they know that they're going to have to get, admiration and the things to sustain them to, to basically survive the situation that they're in. But the narcissist, one thing about them is that they hate to be controlled. So in order for them to be able to survive in a setting where someone has imprisoned their body, they're going to have to gain control over others. And not only do they have to gain control over others, they're going to have to play a whole character with these people, right? The narcissist doesn't have a problem moving on, starting over, or playing a character. They don't have a problem doing that at all. They don't have a problem finding someone to control, even in that setting. Because even in those settings, there's empaths there. There's innocent people there. So they're going to go in that setting trying to gain power over anyone they can. Even over the people that work there, they're going to try to separate themselves from being normal. They want to be special. They want to be admired. They're going to try to figure out what role they're going to play. But the thing about it is that when the narcissist thinks about their past life, what their life was before they did what they did, they're going to have to relive that experience of how they got there and how they lost control, knowing that was taken away from them, that someone was able to get some type of power out of them. That is what angers the narcissist. Just how I said, if someone is able to imprison your body, then they'll be able to imprison your mind. You know, just as someone is able to do that, someone can also imprison your mind and then imprison your body. So by someone imprisoning your mind, they can destabilize and paralyze your body. So, you can easily go, be in an environment where you're imprisoned, physically, and it's also going to play mind games, for anyone, even a narcissist, because now they're going to have to be conditioned, and they don't want to be told when to eat, when to sleep, any of these things. So when someone imprisons your mind, they're able to imprison your body. And to think of someone trying to trap you, to imprison you, it's very sick. And it's even more sick when it's like you love your abuser, or you love the person that's treating you bad. You love the person that's cheating on you, that's lying to you, and you're still trying to make it work. Not understanding that they trapped you from the start. And by the time you figure it out, you're already in that imprisonment. If someone was able to imprison your mind, they're able to imprison your body. That means that you're going to lose self-control because they have destabilized your mind. So now, your emotions are everywhere. Your anger is everywhere. You're doing things physically that you might have never done, or you are physically not, you don't have the energy to get out of that prison. This is how the narcissist is able to trap people, and this is why they never apologize or truly apologize. This is why this is why they always come back, because they feel as if, I know I left you in that mental, that mental slavery, because they know that the way they end things are meant to have you reliving that event, reliving why they did the things that they did. They want you reliving the bad things that they've done, because if they can keep you reliving why they left, or why they treated you the way they did, or why they gaslit you, if they can keep you thinking about them, this is why sometimes they have children with you, because they want a piece of them, a memory of them around you. And, this is why a lot of parents, and their children sometimes have bad relationships. And it was all because of that narcissist, So the narcissist, you guys, they try to get into your mind, where their voice, or the things that they said, the negative things that they left behind, or the train of thought still comes to mind, and it affects the way you interact. They leave those voices in your head, the negative things, you're not a good mother, or you'll never find anyone better, or no one's going to want you, or you're getting old, or you're too skinny, or you're too tall. They leave these voices on your head. They know that in this hierarchy, the moment that you gain self-actualization, they lose power. They lose the energy. They manipulate it to get credibility. The moment you gain consciousness, they lose power. So when you're dealing with a narcissist man, they don't care about what ethnicity or what you look like or any of those things. They care about power and control. They don't care about those things. Those are things that they feed you to confuse all of their supply. They only care about that hierarchy. This is why narcissist men can look at each other. They can see something that's wrong and they won't defend you. If anything, they'll look at the other narcissist and it's kind of like, I would have handled it the same way, if not worse, because they are con artists. As long as the narcissist can keep space in your mind, they feel control. This is why there's a connection even when you leave. The more you get closer to your inner self or things go good in your life, this is, it's like they get an alarm system ringing in their head and they know it's coming from you, not another supply, but you. That's because the narcissist man is a predator. This person can act like what they did to you was not planned out or it wasn't calculated, but they were using their senses. They were using, touch, smell, eyesight, hearing. They were listening to the things that you said. They were listening to your pain. They were trying to see how vulnerable you were. They preyed on you because the narcissist man is a hunter. They're a predator. They can feel when your energy is depleting. They can feel when you're far away. They can sense all these things even when they're not with you. This is why they were able to control your mind and then control your body, or control your body. This is why you should be careful who you're intimate with, and then control your mind. So this is why the narcissists destabilize their victims, and then, they'll even, circle back around and, drive by. Before I end this video, I wanted to talk about self-actualization and Maslow's theory of hierarchy. And I thought that this was important because when I was going to school and I was actually studying the different theories and the hierarchy, the Maslow's hierarchy. And what I really respect about the Maslow's hierarchy is that, it really reminds me of the Hunger Games, and you don't really look at it that way when you're studying this stuff. And when you go through life and you finally get it, you realize how energy works and how you need these things to survive. Not only that, but instead of building, people are willing to take these things away from you in order to get ahead. It's like a food chain, a pyramid, right? And from the bottom going all the way to the top of the pyramid, the first thing that, human beings need in order to survive is physiological needs. Physiological needs are basically like food or shelter, and you will realize that narcissists are willing to take both from you. The second thing that you need in that hierarchy is safety. You need to feel safe, which is shelter, right? The narcissist will portray to give you just that, but they will compromise your safety and security. The third thing on that hierarchy is belonging and love, which the narcissist uses to manipulate when they take it away and give it to you and take it away again. So the narcissist basically takes away one of your natural needs, which is love and belonging. So they do this again by separating you from your family and your friends and taking something that's free away. The fourth basic need that you need is your self-esteem, which the narcissist takes away by chipping at you physically and comparing you to others. The fifth thing in that hierarchy is self-actualization, knowing who you are. And when you look at that hierarchy, which, back in the day when I was studying this, I knew that in order for me to get to self-actualization and know myself and accept who I am and find purpose and creativity in life, I knew that I couldn't get there without having one of these things. But not until you experience narcissism, you realize and actually understand that you can't survive without basic needs. These are things that people need to survive in the, everyday world. If you don't have food or shelter, people look down on you. They think that you don't know yourself and they view you as weak, or they view you as you're not working hard enough. That's how a narcissist views you, even if they're not doing well, or even if they don't have all of these things on this pyramid, on this hierarchy. They will project the way they feel onto you. So now, if the narcissist doesn't have safety, belonging, esteem, or, their basic needs, if one of those things are missing, they're going to use whoever is willing to give them those needs. So the narcissist is able to get basic needs from others, from taking from others, but the one thing they won't be able to do is to gain self-actualization of themselves, because they only see themselves through others. I hope that, this message was clear for you guys. I hope that it's helpful. And, if you guys have any questions, you guys can also leave me questions. I'll also, will put my email in the description. And, don't forget to like this video, you guys. Don't forget to share or comment down below. And I will talk to you guys on the next one. Love you guys.